Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 5 Premium Soviet Destroyer Gremyashchy. It has 4 main guns, 6 torpedoes, 12 AA guns, a surface detection of 6.8 kilometers, top speed 37 knots, total health 13,100. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase main battery accuracy, reduce crit chance on propulsion. For my commander, situation awareness, basic survivability, faster turret traverse, superintendent, and demolition expert. We are on the map Strait, and I certainly have been grinding out the Soviet cruiser commander. The teaser just dropped. Didn't really show a lot, quite honestly, for the North American realm. I don't know about the European, the Asian realm, or the Russian realm, but the North American one was like a love letter to the Soviet Navy. I want to see the ships. I don't care about the Navy. Now, you might wonder, Notser, why do you have basic survivability on the Gremyashchy? It doesn't seem like a good pick for this ship. Well, you would be right. It is not good for the ship. It's a complete waste of a skill. I chose it because I was in the Murmansk and I was burning down too quickly. Now an enemy Carl, showing a ton of his side. I've had players tell me, you know, the Carl's my favorite ship. And I will remain silent because I had a terrible experience with the ship. My modules would break all the time. And why was that? Because I'm aggressive. I try and get into the action, which honestly is not the ideal playstyle of the German cruisers. They really would prefer to have a backup ship that's going to take a little bit of the damage. Maybe it's 50-50. Now, I'm trying to engage the Carl, of course, mainly with HE because he's maneuvering. I did try a stint with AP, didn't find the success, so I'm going to try and stick with HE and relight the target up. We know that he's used his damage control because we saw fire on a ship and it was put out. He's able to avoid torpedoes, possibly sent torpedoes of his own towards me or the friendly destroyer right next to me. And it's pretty easy to tell that because he goes full broadside. Now, yep, there you go. They go right in between myself and the friendly destroyer. We are scouted, however, because he's probably using hydroacoustic. Maybe the smoke is over. I'm moving. Either way, I'm moving out of this territory. We've got another fire on his ship. He's going to have to live with that for probably the remainder of his life because, spoiler alert, he's going to die. He's lit up again by a friendly, 2 fires on it. His propulsion's knocked out. Who's going to get the kill? It's going to be the friendly. The friendly gets the kill. Just the way it goes. We're still scouted, and there's a St. Louis trying to move towards the friendly and engage him. The St. Louis is a tier 3. She's a beautiful ship. We know she's not an a-hole because the hull isn't white. It isn't completely white. It's more gray. He also is rocking the camouflage, so that works in his favor of hiding exactly what hull he's rocking. But I would say he's got the B hull. He's doing a little bit more damage than the average. There's a St. Louis right behind us. We are interrupting his ability to capture the base. But let's be honest, okay? He wasn't going to capture it. And we finally lose that friendly Isokaze, that crazy destroyer. I would put another word to flavor it up, but this is a family channel where we talk about video games and enjoy them. But he was a unique character who chose poorly. This St. Louis, though, he's gonna die. Is he gonna die to the fire? Or are we gonna be able to kill him off with our guns? I'm trying to spread the fire. Another fire. He's got 3 fires on him. What's gonna kill him? The fire or the friendly? He's still alive. Somehow, we're gonna switch to the Wyoming because we know he's gonna burn down. He dies to the friendly. Okay. 0 for 2 so far. The friendly Isokaze did do some significant damage to the enemy Wyoming in the background. And we're looking for a fire. There we go. First fire on the enemy Wyoming. Why not send my torpedoes? The Gremyashchy is a unique ship because it still has the really strong HE. It still has great torpedo range. It honestly is broken. It's a very, very strong premium. I don't know why Wargaming refuses to balance premiums. I completely disagree with the idea that nerfing a premium will inherently increase the refund. I think as long as it's competitive, you just stipulate hey, you can only refund 2 ships yearly. That's it. A lot of games do that, and a lot of games rebalance. I don't know why they don't do that. So honestly, this ship just has a little bit of everything, and the torpedoes are just in the nick of time. 18,000 points of damage. We finish them off either with a flood or a fire or whatever. I don't know that I actually killed him with my gun. And this enemy Wyoming is very low. He knocks out our propulsion. I choose to repair in order to get it back, of course. And first shot, set him on fire. That's what I like to see. He puts it out. Incoming rounds! Oh, I need to get last stand. This is ridiculous. It always seems to happen to me. The turret traverse is bad, though. You really do need expert marksmen. Come on, kill this guy. Don't let him recover. We're trying. We're landing shots on him, but they're being absorbed by the module, and now he's healing. Man, it's real annoying. I was holding on to the smoke. I could choose to pop it. There are friendly aircraft in the area. He is firing on my position. He will be scouted, but I just felt like I was so close. And now I'm not. So I choose to bite the bullet and pop smoke to avoid any more unnecessary damage. We're basically stationary. We're dead in the water. We can't go anywhere. Propulsion has been knocked out. This is the worst possible scenario for my ship. Thankfully, he's been missing his shots, though. But come on, get a fire. We're landing on the superstructure. We just can't get that fire. And this is how painful it feels in Soviet destroyers. You just don't do a lot of damage. There we go, a fire. He's going to burn down now. And we take out the Wyoming. He's able to do a little bit of damage. We confirm that he's dead, and then we pop our damage control to fix the propulsion, finally. Enemy Langley just happens to be right next to us, so we're going to fire on him. Whatever, right? And we're doing a lot of damage. He's also on fire, and this should be the kill shot. Yeah, we take him out. And this game worked out about as well as we could have hoped. You know, you have dreams, aspirations. Every single salvo is going to set the target on fire. I'm going to get 30 fires every game, do 100,000 points of damage in fire. And it just doesn't work like that. You have to set the target up. It's a long game with fire. You have the first fire, which 70% of the time is going to force out damage control from the player because they're either not in a battleship or they're too aggressive in a battleship. And then you have to wait through the immunity, fire again. Hopefully you can land it on a part of the ship that is vulnerable to fires, set it on fire, and start spreading the fire. So you can get it up to 3, 4. That's a dream, of course. That's probably never going to happen. And I have seen an increase in damage. I do give up a little bit of range. That's why I was considering, you know what? What if I went in the Udaloi, just dropped my level 5, and picked up advanced firing training? My concealment isn't anything to write home about. It honestly isn't. 7.2 kilometer range. I'm giving up an average of 1.5 kilometers on pretty much every other destroyer. So I don't want to be caught out. If I run into a US destroyer, it's no contest. They will annihilate me. The guns just don't hold up anymore. Now, if it's a Japanese destroyer, sure, whatever, right? Their guns just don't have the rate of fire to keep up. They do have good velocity. They just don't have the rate of fire. And the turrets are really vulnerable. Really, really vulnerable. Just like the gearing. I was playing a gearing match the other day, lost all my guns. Just sitting there watching the game, I lost all my torpedoes. Not fun. It's not fun to be completely useless when there's probably 5 more minutes in the match. So there's only one enemy destroyer left. He is capturing C. We're all the way on the other side of the map. We're slowly moving to B and then hopefully to C. It looks like the enemy destroyer might be heading north for whatever reason. I'm not going to complain. I've still got 3 of my 4 turrets. That's pretty good in a Soviet destroyer. Having 75% of the damage possibility with 1 ship left, I will take that every single game. Now, as we head towards this guy, he's a Nicholas, so he is better than us. In a close range engagement, we have the advantage of both allies and experience, and he is headed straight north. So this is going to be a clash. Hopefully we can finish it quickly. I would love a 4th kill. I'm one of those players, you know what? 3 is not enough. 4 must be the goal. Oh, 5? 5 is not enough. Let's get 6. Now, the friendly drops his torpedoes, and it looks like the Nicholas is gonna... Wow, he doesn't take them. He avoids all of them. His guns look like they're rotating. Looks like they're facing either the battleship or they're coming online to me. We set him on fire, 2 fires. We actually force him to use damage control. That's a really big deal. His propulsion gets knocked out. He's taking bombing runs from the dive bombers. He probably is in a terrible trouble. And by the way, look at the water. I don't know what it is. I see this glitch all the time. Anyway, he's facing his guns at us. We're trying to kind of spread the fire and take out his front guns because those are the ones that can obviously do damage to us. He hasn't fired for a while, so I should infer, yep, here come the torpedoes. Turn right, turn right. Our momentum carries us into it, and I was so embarrassed. There's no reason I had to die there. I played it incorrectly, too aggressive. But the Nicholas, he eventually gets his. And we're able to win that game pretty quickly on straight. We got a lot of credits, 3 kills, 13 fires, 2 torpedo hits, 2,111 base XP. Fantastic job. And we did around 90,000 points of damage. That is pretty impressive, in my opinion. I usually do between 40,000 and 60,000 points of damage in a Soviet destroyer, even a tier 9. So this might be the right path to choose if I want to do more damage, have more impact. We're going to do another game because that was really short. We are on the map Solomon Islands, and we're using the exact same build. We're looking for one of the 4 enemy destroyers. I could potentially run into him. So, as a Soviet destroyer, how can I even the score if it's a US destroyer? Well, I can use my torpedoes, which have great range, and that's a rare thing to say about a Soviet destroyer. It's as if I'm going back in time and discovering some lost treasure with the Gremyashchy. It's just so much better than most Soviet destroyers. Oh, Nicholas right in front of us. Well, he's got some pretty good torpedoes as well. We're trying to face forward. We're going to send our torpedoes. I was hoping to try and knock out his torpedo systems. We didn't really have a good angle. He was going to maneuver. Of course, you have to expect that he will send his torpedoes. We do pretty good damage, honestly. You really need to make sure that you can send out your torpedoes pretty quickly, because you are sending a tell anytime you're looking at your torpedoes and not firing your guns that he might be looking at his torpedoes, being ready to attack. Because he's a US destroyer, he can send torpedoes on the other side of his ship. So that might be occurring right now. We need to be careful. This enemy Arkansas Beta is also moving into the area. And I'm looking for the fires, remember. That's a great way of racking up the damage, and the first salvo gives us a fire. Fantastic. Probably gonna, yeah, he's aggressive. He put it out. The next one put a fire on the target. However, because he is using his damage control, the immunity protects him. We're taking fire from all the enemies that have range on us at all. But we are a pretty small target. We're no Tashkent. On the World of Warships subreddit, they have a picture of the Tashkent, and it's bigger than a Pensacola. Which I hope everyone understands. Destroyers were not this big in relation to battleships. Wargaming has made destroyers larger than they would otherwise be out of fairness for hitting the moving target. It's sort of like trying to hit a weasel in armored warfare. The weasel is basically the size of a wheelchair. It's so tiny, and trying to hit this little bugger as it's running around the map is infuriating. Most of the chance to miss is because of latency at that point. So Wargaming did decide, hey, let's make destroyers a little bit larger so they're easier to hit. Latency could be an issue. We don't want to make it frustrating. Size of the ship is a really big deal for balance. Speaking of balance, what is going on? The middle is completely void of anyone. This is not looking good. And a 10U, it's coming into focus. It's a really easy ship to kill. Hopefully these cruisers will just focus it down. This is a very dangerous play by this player. Hopefully he's a newbie, because you wouldn't honestly do this if you understood just how dangerous it actually is. He's staring down the gun of 3 or 4 cruisers, a couple battleships, and a destroyer, and he pulls a Notser. And I felt the St. Louis bump into me. I was like, what is that? It helps sort of slow our ship, and we're going to back up. We get a fire, great. I'm telling everyone, please focus this guy down. There's no reason he should be allowed to live making this critical mistake. And we're going to back up just a little bit. Just a little bit. We got to get in range. We're not doing quite as much damage as we would like at this point. We catch the Wakataki on fire just with a stray bullet. And we're going to transfer to it. Can't engage the cruiser anymore. Why not the destroyer? But it doesn't really work out. We're doing okay damage, but not in the amount that we need it to. He puts out the fire, and he basically is going to disappear. The middle of the map, way too open. Way too open. I just have some spidey sense going off. It just feels wrong. We do have a friendly aircraft that has gone through the gap, and he didn't run into anyone. So maybe there's no issue. Maybe I'm just hearing things, feeling things, seeing things that shouldn't be there. We don't know. So I continue to stay on this flank. I feel like the enemy has committed a ton to this flank. Why not commit as well? The Kawachi is a great ship to get some fires on. I wouldn't call it a great ship to play, but I would really like to set it on fire. And oh no! Look at what's going on! Somehow he broke through the defenses and was unseen. There's an enemy attempting to capture our base. And I realize this as I'm moving away. Yes, we get a fire. Does he have the ability to put out the fire? That's the real question. Come on, get another fire. 2 fires would be perfect. I would love a fire. Oh, are you kidding me? We're trying to get the fire. But we have to focus. We're going to run into the enemy. He's somewhere in front of us. That is a danger. Where could you be? And what could you be? Probably a destroyer. Yep, it's a mini Kaze. Of course you are. Well, this is not good. An enemy Nicholas is also going through the gap. This is the Nicholas we were working on before. I'm not really afraid of him. I've already proven that my gun skills are probably superior. Even if I have to fight both, the mini Kaze, gun system's basically irrelevant. We could take one out and then move on to the next one. But I can't get there fast enough to protect this Langley, who has decided, let's just run into the border, give ourselves absolutely no chance to run. I'm looking to get a shot on the mini Kaze. He's still a little bit out of my range. He's probably sending his torpedoes against the target. I was considering staying hidden, but we just have to do as much as we can against the mini Kaze. We lose the friendly Langley, who takes every torpedo, and I'm sure he feels like the world was against him, when in actuality, you cannot allow yourself to be flanked like that. You just can't do that. If you're gonna be a good player, you have to realize that you need to give yourself a way out, no matter what. Now, the mini Kaze chooses to fire on us. Don't know why. Maybe he feels like he can take us. Well, I hate to break it to you, buddy. You cannot. You are going to die, and he's going to realize that at some point and pop his smoke, of course. The classic, oh crap, I'm about to die, destroyer smoke. We just need to get enough damage to make him want to do that. I believe what he is planning, he wants to get in range of the cap and then pop it. And yes, we read him like a book. I didn't really talk about it, but I was trying to gauge when he would fire on my position. That would tell me, okay, he's going to be sending his torpedoes, which he did. We avoided it, And now we're going to send our torpedoes, which he's going to avoid. And he's not really firing. He's either dealing with turret traverse, or he's chosen to send more torpedoes, or will be sending more torpedoes. He leaves the safety of his smoke, and are we going to be able to kill him? Of course he disappears, but we do one blind shot, and we take him out. I'm really glad I hit that blind shot. He probably could have run away for a really long time, but not so fast. You're not getting away from my Gremyashchy. And the Nicholas, who was in the area, is no longer. He's not trying to capture. Where could he be? Is he trying to go behind my teammates who are really overextended? We have lost the engagement at the northeast side of the map. Southeast, they've won, and they're pushing, but it's not looking good for the northeast. We're probably going to lose the friendly battleship, and they're still going to have an advantage of 3 ships. But the Nicholas chooses to come back. Do these guys realize just how dangerous it is to try and fight us? He is able to land a little bit of damage, but then it stops. He's going to send his torpedoes. He thinks that he doesn't need to 100% focus on trying to kill me with his guns. We, on the other hand, are going to kill him. And I'm going to maneuver as best as I can to avoid the incoming torpedoes that are definitely on their way. Here they come. It is just so obvious when you stop firing to send your torpedoes. You either do it very quickly, or you weave it in between. You fire your guns, you set up your torpedoes, and then you switch right back. Your torpedoes and your guns will be looking at the same direction. That's sort of how the game works. You can't aim one without the other. So just keep that in mind. It's so obvious when the gun systems completely stop for 10 seconds. You're obviously sending torpedoes. We lose the friendly battleship, but he takes one of them with him. So we're only down by 1 ship, but we are down. We have to overextend to try to get the win. We probably need to kill at least 2 ships without losing a single ship, which is easier said than done, let's be honest. This enemy South Carolina is headed towards our base. Enemy Arkansas Beta as well. The enemy aircraft carrier, the Langley, is spotted by the friendly destroyer. The only unknown is the enemy destroyer. Where could he be? I'm going to send my torpedoes against the Arkansas Beta. Probably not going to hit. I sent them with the expectation that he was going to try and ride the island, and I was going to work on the South Carolina. That was initially my plan. You know, South Carolina is very far away, but the ship is much, much lower. It is within reason that we could kill him. Now, I need to get the fires, and we, of course, miss with the first salvo. The Arkansas Beta is pretty close, and the torpedo's completely irrelevant. Not going to hit a single ship. We need to be very neutral. We need to watch the Arkansas Beta. A better player could engage the South Carolina and pay attention to the Arkansas Beta. I am not able to do that, so I'm going to focus on the target that is a threat to our ship and maneuver anytime he fires. That's what I wanted to do. We set him on fire. Good. A fire is a big deal. He aggressively puts it out. Okay. We've got a baller over here. I don't know if I would do that. That's a little aggressive. I would wait for the second fire before I would use it. He's now going to be very vulnerable to fires. And I have a fan or someone commenting about my existence, which is nice. It's always nice to have friendly faces in these games. We earn Confederate, good, but we're not getting that fire. Every second that we don't see a fire is lost opportunity and more time for damage control to come back up. We straddle, of course. We're detected, and there's someone trying to capture the base. So, of course, there's a destroyer somewhere close by. The window of invisible fire is somewhere at the max range of the default Gremyashchy. So this is definitely within the attack range of our main guns. Where are you? Oh, there he is. He's on the backside. He drops his smoke. And he's moving out of it. There's no reason we should be detected. We have a general idea of what's going on. He's slowly moving out of it. He's at 50% life. It was the Wakataki. And we're going to do everything in our power to take him out. We should expect torpedoes. Notice the way I have my ship. I'm only firing with my front guns, really trying to wiggle back and forth. I'm hoping that this will give me enough time to react. Sort of a neutral to 3/4. And we're able to take him out. And here come the torpedoes. Not really going to work, buddy. And it looks like, I think he has one more set, if he sent it. But that was 4. And this Arkansas beta has continued to move forward. Don't know where the South Carolina is. The friendly has taken out the aircraft carrier, but it's just me and that friendly destroyer. We're still down. We still have to outplay. We do get a fire, and he doesn't put it out. That's interesting. It's been a while since we set him on fire. I would assume he had a premium damage control. Of course, I don't, which is bad. You really should, but I'm trying to grind out credits as well as grind out the Soviet cruiser commander. He puts it out. Okay, that was definitely damage control. So he will be immune for the next 2 salvos. It looks like the South Carolina wants to go back and fight the friendly destroyer. We need to maneuver. Please don't take. Please don't take. Oh, we get hit a little bit. We set him on fire, but he was still immune. We need another fire. Come on, give us a fire. Remember, he was basically full health when we engaged him. We've only lost probably 3,000 since engaging him for the first time. I'm going to send my torpedoes. Don't really think they're going to be effective. He should 100% expect it. Plus, we lost sight of him. The friendly takes out the enemy battleship. We are ahead. Just barely, though. If the Arkansas beta were to get me or on the capture point, we would 100% lose the game. Now, I could play very passively, or I could play very aggressively. What do you think I'm going to do? I hope everyone knows the answer to this. I am going for the kill. I do not care that he has probably 4 times the health pool as me. I want him dead. And look at his guns. They're out of position. We're going to try and stay as far back, of course. Gives us more time to react. We cannot use our smoke. We will lose the detection of the ship. You only use your smoke whenever you have a friendly that's able to detect, if you intend to do damage at all. We set him on fire. Great. He did use damage control probably 45 seconds ago. And if he holds true, he doesn't have premium. So it's going to burn for probably 20 more seconds. Can we get another fire? That would really help our efforts. And here come the first salvos after repositioning a ship, and they completely miss. The back guns are almost in position. The front guns are still rotating. So we should expect back gun fire, then front gun fire. Although it looks like he's going to be in position to fire his front, he sacrificed a little bit of time for his back to have the front in position already. And he's got 2 fires. He's going to burn down before he can do anything. I think we've done it. I think we've pulled this off. We held firm on the flank and ultimately finished off the enemy, and he put the fire out just before our last salvo made contact. So this felt really good. Felt like we had a very important role to keep our team in the game. 4 kills, Confederate, almost 400,000 credits earned. We did around 1,837 base XP. Somehow it's lower than the other game, even though we had to be more successful in this game for our team to even have a chance to win. I wish there was something that detected that. We did 72,000 points of damage, a little bit less, but just as important. I hope everyone enjoyed both of these games. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.